Imagine transforming your life by simply altering your daily habits. Habits, the routines we perform almost mindlessly, hold an incredible power. They shape our lives, molding us into who we are. From the way we brush our teeth in the morning to how we unwind at the end of the day, these seemingly insignificant actions compound over time, creating a ripple effect that can lead to massive change. Ready to dive into the world of habits? Buckle up. Ever wondered why some habits stick and others don't? It's all about the habit loop. Imagine this. You wake up in the morning. The smell of coffee brewing triggers a craving for a fresh cup. That's your cue. You get up, walk to the kitchen and pour yourself a mug. That's your routine. And there it is. The first sip, the warmth, the taste. That's your reward. This simple sequence, cue, routine, reward, is what we call the habit loop. In our day-to-day lives, we're constantly running through these loops, often without even realizing it. Our brains are wired to find patterns and stick to them. It's a survival technique, really. Habits allow us to conserve mental energy by automating repetitive tasks. But it's not just about the brain's love for efficiency. The habit loop is also about the power of rewards. Rewards create a sense of pleasure, and our brains love pleasure. The reward reinforces the habit, making it more likely we'll repeat the routine in the future when we encounter the same cue. Let's take another example. You finish dinner and you crave something sweet. That's your cue. You reach for a cookie from the pantry. That's your routine. The sweet taste satiates your craving. That's your reward. The habit loop strikes again. But here's the thing. Not all habits are created equal. Some are beneficial, like the habit of regular exercise or reading before bed. Others, like reaching for that cookie after dinner every day, not so much. The key to mastering your habits lies in understanding this fundamental mechanism. By identifying the cues and rewards that drive your habits, you can start to influence your routines. Want to build a new habit? Create a clear cue and a tangible reward. Want to break an old habit? Change the routine that follows the cue or alter the reward. Understanding the habit loop is the first step towards mastering your habits. And once you've got that down, the possibilities for transformation are endless. Now let's see the power of habits in action. Picture this, a woman in her late 30s struggling with weight issues and low self-esteem. She begins a simple habit, a 10-minute walk every morning. Fast forward a year, she's 30 pounds lighter, brimming with confidence, and has completed her first half marathon. That's the power of a small habit, consistently followed. Or imagine a man trapped in the cycle of procrastination. Overwhelmed by his work, he decides to instill a new habit, dedicating the first hour of his day to tackle the most daunting task on his to-do list. 6 months later, he's more productive than ever, has received a promotion, and his stress levels have significantly reduced, all thanks to one small change in his daily routine. Consider a teenager struggling academically, feeling defeated and ready to drop out. She decides to implement a new habit, studying for just 20 minutes every day after school. Fast forward to graduation day, she's not only passed her exams, but is also the first in her family to be accepted into a university. A minor tweak in her daily routine turned her life around. Or think about a man who felt disconnected from his family. He began a simple habit, eating dinner together as a family every night. No distractions allowed. A year later, he shares stronger bonds with his family, and their home is filled with laughter and love. Again, the result of a small but powerful habit. These stories are not exceptions. They are examples of the extraordinary transformations that can occur when we harness the power of habit. Each of these individuals started with a small, manageable habit and stuck to it. Over time, these habits led to profound changes, not just in their specific goals, but in their overall quality of life. Inspiring, isn't it? And you can do it too. Ready to take control of your habits? Here's how. Imagine wanting to read more. The first step is to set a clear, achievable goal. Instead of saying, I want to read more, say, I will read for 20 minutes every day before bed. This way, you know exactly what success looks like. Next, create a cue. This is a trigger that initiates your routine. In this case, your cue could be as simple as setting your book and a bookmark on your bedside table each morning. That way, when you see your book before bed, it triggers your reading habit. Now, let's say you want to create a habit of regular exercise. Again, start with a clear goal. Perhaps, I will go for a 15-minute walk every morning after breakfast. Your cue in this case might be setting out your walking shoes and headphones the night before. Remember, it's crucial to start small. You can always build up the intensity and duration of your habits over time. The key is to establish a routine that is so easy that you can't say no. When you've completed your habit, it's time for the reward. This is a crucial part of the habit loop because it's the reward that your brain craves, leading you to repeat the behavior in the future. For reading, the reward might be the satisfaction of finishing a chapter or the relaxation before bed. For walking, it could be the endorphin rush, the fresh morning air, or the feeling of accomplishment. But don't just rely on intrinsic rewards. Give yourself a pat on the back, celebrate your wins no matter how small. Maybe it's a favorite cup of tea after a reading session or a healthy breakfast after your walk. These small rewards can make a big difference in motivating you to stick with your new habits. Finally, keep track of your progress. There's something incredibly satisfying about seeing a chain of successes. Use a habit tracker or simply mark off days on a calendar. Seeing your successes visually can provide a powerful boost to your motivation. Remember, consistency is key when it comes to habit formation. Let's face it, forming new habits isn't always smooth sailing. But don't worry, we've got you covered. In the journey of habit transformation, obstacles are inevitable. They might be external, like a sudden change in your routine, or internal, like a loss of motivation or a setback. But remember, each challenge is a chance to grow stronger. Lack of motivation, for instance, is a common roadblock. It's like a campfire. If you don't keep feeding it fuel, it will eventually burn out. But here's a secret. Motivation isn't the engine of action, it's the byproduct. The key is to start taking action, no matter how small. Once you get moving, motivation often follows. Setbacks, on the other hand, can feel like stumbling blocks. You were making progress and then, boom, you're back to square one. But here's the thing. Setbacks aren't failures, they are feedback. They show you where you need to adjust your strategy. So instead of being discouraged, be curious. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Then tweak your approach and try again. Now let's talk about maintaining consistency. This can be tough, especially when the excitement of starting something new wears off. But don't despair. Here's a tip. Use a habit tracker. This simple tool can help keep your progress visible, which can be incredibly motivating. Plus, it gives you a sense of accomplishment every time you check off a day. And finally, let's tackle the big one. Resistance to change. This is a natural response, as our brains are wired to resist anything unfamiliar. But remember this, small changes are less threatening to our brains than big ones. So start small, make your new habit so easy that you can't say no. Over time, these tiny changes can lead to big transformations. So there you have it, strategies to overcome common obstacles in habit formation. From maintaining motivation to handling setbacks, staying consistent, and dealing with resistance to change. With these strategies, you can conquer any challenges that come your way. So, are you ready to change your life one habit at a time? Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've discovered today. We've journeyed through the fascinating world of habits, exploring their profound impact on our lives. We've learned that even the smallest routines can be the catalysts for substantial life changes. We've delved into the science of habit formation, unraveling the concept of the habit loop, a three-part process that includes a cue, a routine, and a reward. We've seen how understanding this loop can empower us to shape our habits and consequently our lives. We've been inspired by real-life transformations, by individuals who, like a sculptor with a block of marble, chiseled away at their old habits to reveal a new, improved version of themselves. We've discussed practical strategies for building your own habits. Remember, start small and be consistent. Set clear goals, create cues, and celebrate your progress. We've addressed common challenges in habit formation and provided strategies to overcome them. Remember, setbacks are not failures, they're opportunities for learning and growth. In essence, we've discovered that the power to change our lives lies in our everyday habits. It's not about making grand, sweeping changes, but about making small, consistent changes that add up over time. Start today, and remember, the power to change your life is in your habits. Stay tuned for more videos on personal development, and remember to like, share, and subscribe.